And both you and I shouldn't be too shy by letting go for once. Come and be free with me.
Hey.
Hey, so today we are near the Little Bighorn battlefield because they are doing a reenactment of the Battle of Little Bighorn. So we're going to go watch Custer lose. Now the actual reenactment is supposed to take 90 minutes. From what I understand, the battle itself only took an hour. But anyways, looks kind of cool. We're going to go check it out. So here we are on the banks of the Little Bighorn River, waiting for the reenactment of the Battle of Little Bighorn. Now, as I understand it, Custer and 240 men of the U.S. 7th Cavalry came in and met with an attack by several thousand Lakota and Northern Cheyenne under the leadership of Sitting Bull. And in under an hour, all but two of the American troops had been killed and the Indians had won. And it's interesting, we left where we're staying on the Crow Reservation. This used to be Crow territory here, and the Crow were mad that it was being encursed upon by the Lakota and the Cheyenne, so they actually joined forces with the U.S. Cavalry in this battle and served as scouts. So here we are, and they're supposed to give us a little talk before it all begins, and we'll find out if my history is right or not, and then see the battle.
The story that you are going to hear, you are an Indian. From the Indian perspective. And so the cavalry are here to eradicate, demolish the way of life on the trail of the buffalo. If everybody will rise, we are going to sing the flag song of the Crow tribe here. All right.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming?
All right, what a beautiful sight there. Men on horseback. If God wanted you to walk, God would have gave you 4 feet. Pat Spotted Wolf's father fought in the Battle of the Little Bighorn on June 25, 1876. We are a humble people asking for nothing but the blessings of our sacred Mother Earth. The roots, berries, leaves, and meat from the buffalo, elk, deer, and antelope. Our hearts were good when we followed the buffalo to good grass, good water, and good days. Those days were the best of days. Lewis and Clark. For most Indians, the ones with the bridge cloth in this region of the upper Missouri and its tributaries, the first white men, light-eyed people they ever saw were the famous explorers Lewis and Clark. The United States government sent them out on an exploring expedition to chart the further western reaches of the brand new portion of the United States. Sagakawea, a Hidatsa woman named Bird Woman. Dagagawea was the guide and scout through unseen lands of the ones with the bridge cloth. Next time, the ones with the bridge cloth saw the light-eyed people with the Friendship Treaty of 1826. This treaty was to ask the ones with the bridge cloth if it would be okay if these light-eyed people, the mountain men, could come on to their lands to trap beaver, muskrat, mink, otter, weasel, coyote, wolf, and to live among them. They came in peace. The mountain men brought trade goods like knives, steel tomahawks, pipes, blankets, looking glass, guns, and whiskey for trade, for furs and robes. More and more mountain men came out west. Then gold was discovered in California in 1849. Throughout the 1860s, the northern Great Plains and mountains, the Sioux and the northern Cheyenne mercilessly harassed the settlers and the light-eyed people passing through their lands. Finally, in 1868, the forts along the Bozeman Trail were abandoned, and the United States government seeks peace with the mighty Sioux Nation. A delegation from the United States War Department was sent out to Fort Laramie in 1868 to meet with these mighty nations of the Sioux, Cheyenne, Absaluga, Arapaho. Fort Laramie Treaty or no Fort Laramie Treaty of 1868, the light-eyed people still entered Indian country. Rumors of gold in the sacred Black Hills are reported, and by 1874, Custer and the 7th Cavalry, now transferred up to the Dakota Territory, was ordered to conduct a reconnaissance. He brings with him reporters and geologists to look for gold. They do find gold, and it is now certain that there can be no stopping the light-eyed people with the smell of money from coming out onto Indian lands. The stage is now set for disaster. There is bloodshed in the moon. Dear Lanny. At one time, a long time ago, when I was about 10 winters old, my grandfather owns painted horse. I sat behind him on his horse painted black. His Cheyenne brother came over for a visit on about the longest day of the winter when the grass was full grown as the sun turned to go to another winter. Pat Spotted Wolf recalled what his father had told him of the Battle of the Little Bighorn. We were on the west bank of the Little Bighorn river when Spotted Wolf looked out and told the story. My father, the way he said it was that Custer came down Medicine Tail Coulee and tried to cross the main river, the Little Bighorn River, and was met at the middle of the river by Cheyenne warriors. This is where he went down when he was shot, and the rest of the men were chased back up that draw toward where the sun comes up and then toward where it is cold all of the time. That is where Custer's men went. Custer himself was captured at the river and never made it to the top of the hill for the final fight. When it was all over, they took Custer, staked him to the ground, cut out his heart, stuck a spear through it, and danced through the camp that night in a scalp dance, victory dance, said Pat Spotted Wolf.
Well, that was pretty cool, yeah?
Yeah, it was interesting to know what happened in history and what I was brought up to know. There was quite a few parts that I didn't know.
Well, and it was interesting too because it was told from the Native American perspective. So you get the story a little differently. There were times you could tell the guy that was narrating it, he was getting a little angry.
Yeah, a couple of times talking about what was going on and what happened in life, and there at the end, you know, it was, I mean, not the end, but a few times when he was talking about what was, you know, I'm just blabbering, but he got a little bit upset.
A little bitter.
Yes, bitter, not upset.
You can't blame, you know, we've been traveling around this part of the country and it's so beautiful, and I don't know how many times I've told Bubba, I don't blame him for not wanting to give it up, you know?
Yeah.
I don't blame him one bit.
No, they were told that we, the white person, told them they could have it. They could have this land to hunt and everything, and
then they found gold on it.
And then guess what? The white man changed his freaking mind. No. Bunch of greedy cotton pickers.
But it was very interesting. They definitely make sure you're entertained, and you do get quite a history lesson out of it. And it was funny though, at the end, I guess the cavalry, this 7th Cavalry wasn't going to go down as easy as Custer. At the end, the announcer's yelling, "Cavalry, lay down!" They weren't going to give up the fight.
And to their defense, and the Indian guys, to their defense, they canceled Friday and Saturday, so they had it today, and they didn't rehearse. You know, and it's the first time this season. I don't know how many other times I'll have it, or if this is just the first time. Of the season, of the year.
Yeah.
So they don't do it for a year, and
well, the actual anniversary of the battle is June 25th.
yes.
And they do it as close to the anniversary date as they can. So because of weather, they only did it the one day this year.
Yeah, and that didn't give them much time to rehearse. So
it's pretty cool though. It's $20 a person to get in. They've definitely figured out the whole capitalism thing out here. $20 a person to get in, and if you're a professional photographer, it's $100. But it gives you access to more areas. We stuck with the $20 ticket and just filmed from where we could. And then I don't know, but it was interesting. It was good. Good little piece of history.
yeah, yep. Like I said, there was a lot of parts that I was told that didn't match with this story. So I don't know. Take it for what it is, I guess. Who knows really what happened, but the people that it happened to.
There,
yeah, were the people that were there.
Well, and pretty much the only stories getting passed down were the Native American stories, because nobody lived through this
Right.
on the white guy side of it.
Just one. He dove in the river and bailed.
That's right. So now that that's over with, we have to find something to do. thank you all so much for watching this video. And join us next time as we take Grace on a weekend camping trip and take a tour of Yellowstone National Park. We hope you've enjoyed this episode and found it as informative as we did. And we thank you all so much for all of your support. See you next time.